Good morning and welcome to our video installment this week for No Bones About It Teen Training with Willow. We kind of continuing on our same journey as last week where we went out on the trail. We're out here now kind of in front of the community center. We've got middle school PE happening, so there's going to be lots of kids walking by. So we're just working on reinforcing skills as there are higher and higher levels of distraction. All right, so we're going to start again warming up with, she's fine. We're, touch, doing multiple activities with fewer treats. Working on, I just have the leash dropped right now. Let's go. I brought really high value treats. I'm sort of oscillating between those and regular kibble. When I stop, I really want the dog to sit. Willow, sit. She should know that that's what she has to do. Even if I don't cue her, sit. That should kind of become her automatic go-to. All right, we're gonna work on now our downstay while all these other kids are kind of walking by. Down. Oops, down. A lot of times I'll try to just treat, but by tossing. Hey, down. Oh. You can zoom over there, Mark.
Such a football.
So we have all the PE kids, I mean like probably 30 of them that are walking in a circle around the community center fields. And so what we're doing when all the kids are coming by is we're working on either our hand targeting or we're working on down with high levels of treats. Again, when things get more difficult, we need to increase our frequency of rewards. Okay, so we call that rate of reward. So when things are difficult, rate of reward goes really high. When things get easier or when a dog is more solid with a behavior, our rate of reinforcement gets lower. So those are things you always want to keep in mind when you're going into new scenarios. And as you can see, Willow's doing really well when she settles down, especially when we're at low levels of distraction. So I really don't feel the need to treat her all that often. Again, distance is really hard. When I start gaining distance, that becomes a lot more difficult for any dog. So I want to come in and do lots of intermittent reinforcing. Coming in, treating, going back out, moving from, So you can see, even if I change the direction that I'm moving, down. So even if I change the direction, like I'm gonna go to side versus back, that becomes really difficult. So, excuse me. So I wanna make sure that I get in there and do lots of treats as, down. As I'm going side to side. Okay, good girl. Hey, we are here with Lander. Thank you. And I'm specifically putting myself in this location where there's lots of action, there's balls, there's moving people, because I want her to really work in that kind of environment with that level of distraction. She's way more obsessed about the birds that are behind me right now. So I'm gonna start out with something super easy that we call, I call an attention walk. It's where, and I'm gonna just drop her leash and let her walk towards me. I'm just gonna be treating her as I walk backwards, get her really focused. And then what I'm gonna do is spin around so that now we're walking in the same direction. Good girl. I can kind of morph back and forth between those two things to keep her focused. Treat, treat, treat. And then I kind of do this thing where I take the treat and I lure her week we worked a lot in the at home in our training area on this reward zone concept. Later. So drop the treat. Punch. 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 Very nice. Good job. Okay. Okay, so again, my goal, little close there. My goal is to be able to keep the dog focused to the point where she's not obsessed with everything that's going on. I want her to be able to check in with things that are going on, but then check back with me. And Margaret, just go ahead and scan back out here. I mean, there is a lot going on. So to be able to get a dog, plus we're in the grass, I mean, to get the dog to be able to focus on, in this scenario, is great. Great training for her. Good job, Lander!
Okay.
All right, again, looking back at last week when we were out on the trail, that was craziness. We've now picked another place that's crazy, and Gus he's just not even sure what to do with all this, right? So, as I was just demoing with Lander, I'm gonna start out, yes, maybe just with a couple name games, and then some attention walking, where I walk backwards, have the dog walk towards me. Very good. Then I'm gonna loop the dog around, so we're walking in the same direction. Okay, Gus is so cuckoo crazy right now that I think what I'm gonna do is just work on a few stationary exercises to calm him down a little bit. In the vein of not setting ourselves up for failure, I've changed locations. We're still near all the action, but we are now on concrete. So I've removed the grass aspect, and I've put some distance between all of the activity, because one of the things that's so important to remember in your training is that if you are putting yourself in a place where your dog cannot be successful, not only are you going to frustrate yourself, you are going to be so annoyed, and then you're going to blame the dog. That's just kind of human tendency to then redirect that frustration to your dog. And I always equate it to taking a kid that's in elementary school and being annoyed with them that they can't do calculus. It's just not fair. There's 8 million steps between being in a house and in a quiet environment and being able to perform certain behaviors, and then taking them out to the beach or the park or in front of a soccer game and expecting the same level of performance. So really getting your mindset in a place that's appropriate for the level, age, and maturity level that your dog has. Yes. Good. Very good. So we're just going to work a couple more exercises. And again, I sort of finished talking a few minutes ago about kind of lowering, kind of becoming a little bit more zen with a dog that is really heightened. So nice, I'm talking in hushed tones, using slower body movement. It's interesting because for a dog like Gus, who is so food gaga, it also, when I always talk about, bring high value treats, hot dogs, chicken, whatever it is. For a dog that's already crazy food motivated, I might actually opt in these kind of scenarios to not do that, because it's just another element that kind of sends the dog like over threshold is the word. It sends them kind of into a place where they're not in a thinking brain. We talk a lot about puppies being in a thinking state of mind where they're able to keep their level of excitement. We're able to keep the adrenaline levels down enough that they're actually able to process a lot of information. If I have a dog that is so food crazy and I bring, chicken and things like that, it's another thing that skyrockets sort of that, again, adrenaline, excitement level, all that kind of stuff. And it brings that dog out of that thinking mind. And that's not an appropriate place to train. So these are all things that we're adjusting for every single dog. It takes a new puppy owner a long time to sort of figure out what works best. And it's always a work in progress. It's always changing. So great job for all these puppies today, out and about on Field Trip Tuesday, and have a good weekend. We will see you soon.